on, everyone? Welcome to the Morning Tea. I'm Alex Schiffman, and today I am joined for a third day in a row. It's round three, guys. Dax Holt and Adam Glynn from the Hollywood Raw podcast. Hey, guys, welcome back. Happy Thursday.
Good morning.
Happy Thursday. Ready to spill the tea.
Yes, we have a lot of tea to spill, but I gotta ask, did you guys tune in to the Billboard Music Awards last night?
Background television. I saw I'll tell you what. I saw Garth Brooks perform. I was actually surprised how much I liked him. Listen, I'm not a country guy, but I do know his history of country. But he was good, and he played all out. Like, first of all, he sounded great, but he performed like he was performing in front of 100,000 people, which he's done numerous times. Performance of the night, it has to go to, for me at least, Post Malone. I'm a Post Malone fan with the fireworks going behind him. He was great.
I love Doja Cat. I specifically sought out to see the performance like I said I would, and I enjoyed every second of it. She's awesome. I think she is going to be like the next really big star, honestly. She's huge.
I completely agree. I think Doja Cat stole the show for me as well. But guys, not only did I tune into the Billboard Music Awards, I had a kind of a binging night. I also watched the Blackpink documentary. And let me just tell you.
I wanted to watch
you
that.
Guys,
that's so funny you say that.
You have to watch it because
is that the octopus one? No, I don't know. I'm sorry. There's so many of these things I lost.
Blackpink is the K-pop girl group that we've been talking about. I'm trying to convince you guys to join the K-pop train. I'm telling you, you get an insight into how hard these girls have worked, and I may convert you. So if you have some time.
Alex, I'm on board with it. I was flipping through Netflix. It came up as one of the like previews of like the things that are hot on Netflix right now. I watched the trailer and I'm like, all right, I'm in. I want to watch it. Yeah. Their lives seem fascinating. It's all behind the scenes like we all love. So I will definitely be watching that one.
Yeah, so you get like an insight. They performed at Coachella last year. So you see kind of all of that. They're also not from South Korea. One is from New Zealand. One is from Australia. So you get a lot of insight into who the girls are. So I don't know if I've sold you, Adam, but Dax is on board. So
yeah, I'll stick to trying to watch that octopus documentary on Netflix. I heard a lot of good stuff about this. You guys are the first one saying this documentary is like a must-see TV.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I guess the octopus one is probably good as well. But T-Tribe, if you're just joining us, you know how this works. This show goes international. So let us know in the chat, where are you watching from this morning? We love to hear all the exotic places. We have T-Tribe members in the Bahamas, guys. Like all the places you'd rather be right now than in your house, they join us from. So it's pretty cool.
Love it.
Yeah, bring us with you. Alex, I got a question for you. How did you get your start in the entertainment business? What was your road to becoming to Hollyscoop? How did you get here?
Well, that is a loaded question, but I graduated from USC. I studied communication and journalism, and my first job was actually at E! I worked on the live events team, so I did all the award show carpets, all the red carpets, but I was on the production side of things. So, and I realized that, I'm not going to be Ryan Seacrest or Juliana Rancic anytime soon. So then I went into kind of digital media and started hosting on a girls media website. And I did all kind of like the teen Disney Nickelodeon stuff and just continued on my way. And now I'm here at Hollyscoop spilling the tea with you guys.
Nice.
Yeah, that's great. I think everyone's got a curious road. Yeah, how they fell into it. Yeah, Mine was literally just stepping on dog poop. I went to school for PR, couldn't get a job anywhere. Went back to school, got my teaching certification, couldn't find a job anywhere. Struggled to figure out what I was going to do, but during the entire time I was doing these odd jobs. I was a stand-up comic. Did a show in New York City. Someone in the crowd said, "You seem funny, non-threatening, no pop culture. Would you be interested in a job at TMZ?" I said, "Listen, man, I'll do anything for health insurance." And I didn't even know what it was. I started there, and that's what I did. I just kind of ran around with the camera. I worked for a long time, and I didn't really know what I was doing, but I knew pop culture. Like, somehow growing up, I didn't know the stuff I should know. Like, real stuff didn't resonate with me. However, pop culture did. And, at the time, Perez Hilton was very big. And it just stuck with me. I had a good eye for it, and I knew New York City, and I kind of been with it, and that's how I kind of created to be a journalist as a paparazzi in New York City, and got to meet a lot of people and break a lot of good stories.
That's awesome. Yeah, the celebrity world is fascinating. I have been fascinated with it as well since a young age, and I always wanted to learn about people and kind of why everyone becomes so obsessed with celebrities. It's very interesting to me, and learning about kind of their transition into this world too. So I've always loved it as well. But I'm looking at you guys in the chat. You're joining us from Modesto, California, Ocean City, Maryland, Morocco. Ooh, Fatima, that is very fancy this morning. Cleveland. Amanda's coming to us from Massachusetts. Oh, we got an East Coaster, Adam, coming to us from the East Coast.
Yeah, there we go.
Brooklyn is joining us from Minnesota. Crazy K's coming from Portland, Oregon. Helena's coming from Sweden. Have you guys ever been to Sweden?
I have actually. I've been to Sweden.
I have.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny? Cool. I got it.
Yeah, I was reading the questions. I got lost in all the questions.
You know what's so funny? I found a flight to Sweden like 10 years ago for like $200, like during Christmas time. I was like, man, I'm going to Sweden. I gotta check this place out. Like this flight was so cheap. It was cheaper to go to Sweden than Florida. And then I went to Sweden. And the reason why the flights are so cheap because the sun goes down at like 2 p.m. at that time of year. So for a week straight, I was out partying and then come back and there was just no sun for a week. It was pretty, it was cool, but depressing.
Yeah. Depressing? Really?
Listen, there was no sun. I didn't have vitamin D for a week.
Right.
But listen, it was my fault. I was out partying all night, so I didn't get up early enough to see the sun.
You really do have fans everywhere. South Africa, Lebanon, England.
Oh, the Lebanon really fans are mine.
Quite the international chat right here. Philippines.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy when you actually watch the chat and see where everyone's watching from because, YouTube is a crazy place. And people can join in from all different time zones and all different places.
We also have a really, really strong fan base in Lebanon. So shout out to Lebanon. That's the bulk of our audience for the Hollywood Ball podcast.
Nice. Very cool. How did you get the fans in Lebanon?
No, actually, to be honest, he's joking about Lebanon, but India is actually pretty big because we had a big star from India on our podcast once, and ever since then, big Indian base, like legit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So, yeah, we might as soon as we start doing live shows, we have to do India.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, let me tell you what we have on the show today because we have a lot of tea to spill. Of course, we're talking about the Billboard Music Awards last night. Lizzo gave a very empowering acceptance speech, so we will get into that. Plus, Justin Bieber is selling a lot of Crocs, guys, and very quickly, so we'll get into that. Also, Cardi B is definitely not divorcing Offset, so I know we spoke about it on the show this week, but we do have a little confirmation. Also, Ariana Grande is heading back to acting. This is kind of cool. And then Lil Nas X's new album is coming out in November. Plus, we're going to get into his fashion last night at the Billboard Music Awards because it was show-stopping. We're also talking about Chloe in our Car Jenner Tea Time and kind of, her experience during the pandemic and working out, having a toddler in the house as well and no help. Also, our OMT story of the day. We are opening up Snapchat for the first time in a while just to get a sneak peek at Justin's new song, Lonely. I know we talked about it and he teased it earlier in the week, but we actually have a sneak peek now. It's very exciting. And we have some thoughts on the teaser clip. So stick around for that later in the show for our OMT. So what do you think about this tea, guys? Is it hot? Are you ready to spill it?
It's getting hot.
Let's go.
Mine is boiling hot tea. Let's
Cheers to our final day.
Cheers. I brought tequila Tuesday to Thursday, so that was worth it. The best New York City tap water. Let's go.
Listen.
By the way, Melkor asked me to notice them because they're saying hi with a little smiley face. Hi in the Philippines. There you go.
Yes. All right. Hello in the Philippines. Okay, so we're going to kick it off with You Missed It, of course. And these are all the stories that you may have missed overnight. Don't worry, guys. We handle all the trending teas, so you don't ever miss it. And first up, of course, we're talking about the Billboard Music Awards last night, and there was so much that happened. One of the highlights of the evening was Lizzo's acceptance speech for the Top Sales Artist Award. So Lizzo came out in a custom Christian Siriano vote dress and spoke to the audience about the importance of speaking truth to power. So she said, quote, "When people try to suppress something, it's normally because that thing holds power. They're afraid of your power. There's power in who you are. There's power in your voice. So whether it's through music, protest, or your right to vote, use your power, use your voice, and refuse to be suppressed." So the BBMAs were full of political messages last night, and Lizzo's may have been the most powerful. What kind of an impact do you think these words of celebrities have on their fans?
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's a lot first of all, the dress, home run. It was a great dress. It was good. It was a solid, good dress. With the stance that Lizzo took, it was just very subtle, but she used a very powerful word, the word suppressed. But it didn't come from anger. It didn't come from him. It came from calmness. And I respect that she came from a good place. And it didn't ridicule people for their opinions. It was just a very good tone to say a speech like that. And it is important for everyone to vote. But let's be realistic. Not every vote counts. It depends what state you are.
Yeah, but you know what? I think what is important is you have these celebrities that are taking their platform and they're spreading the word. And that's what you have to do, because a lot of people don't know that it is important to vote. Or if you don't vote, don't complain down the road that, you don't like who the candidates are, all that kind of stuff. And I think it's important to push people, to inform them, to educate them, to get out there and at least say what they want. So I don't know. I like that they take their platform. I don't, however, like when it gets too political. Then I'm starting to go. Then it starts to get to an award show, and I'm like, oh god, I want it to be past November 3rd right now. I want it all to be done so we can move forward.
No, I agree. I loved her dress. I loved her message. I thought it was very tasteful. It wasn't preachy. Some people can come off preachy. I thought the way she kind of integrated that she uses her voice through music. We were at the Billboard Music Awards, and like you said, let's make it about the music. Of course, get your message out if that's what you want to use your platform for, and it's super important. But I like the way she presented it. I thought it was very, very cool and original, and I just love Lizzo. I really love her, and I think
she's so cool.
She's so cool, and she's really made her mark. So good for her. All right, well, someone else that's making their mark in shoes again is Justin Bieber's new collab with the shoe company Crocs. Of course, we all know Crocs. Went live Tuesday, and if you were waiting for a pair, you're out of luck, Beliebers, because the bright Drew Yellow, like his brand, shoes sold out on the site for $60 each and sold out in just 90 minutes. So many fans wanted a pair. The website crashed during the launch, but pairs are now selling on eBay for more than double the original price. When news of the collab with Justin broke, Crocs stock jumped 13%. Pretty crazy. Are you upset that you didn't get a pair of these Justin Crocs?
I mean, I've learned the hard way. I've spent so much money investing in celebrity clothes. As far as Kanye West sneakers, and I think I'm going to flip them and make money on them. It never happens. I've actually bought, when Justin Bieber did a line with Barney's for the Fear of God line, I waited in line and got a t-shirt, a Marilyn Manson Justin Bieber t-shirt, and I paid $300 thinking the shirt was going to be worth a lot of money. I never sold it on eBay. I lost the $300, and I never wore the shirt. It was just a complete bust. So people that are thinking about flipping these sneakers, it's not as easy as it seems. Crocs, this is not the first time they've done collaborations. They've done collaborations with KFC and a lot of other different brands. It didn't sell out that quick. You're talking about, I mean, it really, what was it, 90 minutes until it completely sold out? That's not groundbreaking. That's not even that great. And at the end of the day, they're Crocs. I mean, I've never owned a pair of Crocs. I have heard they're comfortable, but this wasn't a win for Justin Bieber. I mean, I expect him, especially with the new song dropping, to sell out immediately.
You're hating on 90-minute sellout? Like, I get
yes,
it.
I am. Listen,
it wasn't like a Kylie Jenner makeup reveal where it was gone in 90 seconds, but still, they sold out. And we're talking Crocs here. Like, these are ugly shoes that are yellow and say Drew on them. I'm very impressed that we're even talking about Crocs selling out in general, because I never thought that would be a statement that we say is Crocs sold out. I'm impressed. I love his fan base. I mean, rarely do you have a fan base last this long for someone who became famous at such a young age. And for him to still be putting out products and they get sold, it's great. I mean, he really has a loyal fan base.
Yeah, but you got to remember, Travis Scott came out. Travis Scott had a chicken nugget pillow that sold out, and it's like, that's the one that's actually very much selling. So people would rather have a chicken nugget pillow than a Justin Bieber like sneaker shoe. You can't. I mean, it's more practical to have a shoe, but people would rather have and spend a lot more money for a Travis Scott pillow.
Listen, I love chicken nuggets, so I get the pillow. But let me just tell you, I do not love Crocs. I will never buy a pair of Crocs. So this whole thing just also fascinates me that it was sold so quickly. But Justin Bieber has that power. I mean, the Beliebers will buy anything he puts his name on. T-Tribe, are you a fan of Crocs? Would you buy a pair of these? Or are you more into like Yeezys and other or chicken nugget pillows? Would you rather buy a chicken nugget pillow?
I'm seeing a lot of the barfing emojis for people saying, Karina says, no Crocs for me, barfing emoji. Justin Bieber pass, period, says Minzar. Like, a lot of people are absolutely not going to wear Crocs, but Crocs are in style. If we don't like them, it doesn't matter, because Crocs are in style right now, whether you hate them or not.
They're back. Isn't that crazy when something, because of course when Crocs came out, people were like, what are these? Then they became kind of fashionable for, a niche group of people.
Not. This is the first time they're in.
they were dad shoes, or they were a certain group of people wore them. I mean, I saw them out on people's feet, whether or not I wanted to see them. They were there. Then they went away, and now they're like kind of cool again. I mean, Justin Bieber's collaborating with them. That wouldn't have happened 10 years ago.
The only people they're fashionable to is nurses and doctors. That's it.
Yeah. Right. Nurses and doctors are the ones all online trying to get them. I've never owned a pair, but I've heard they're very practical shoes. Like, they're just very comfortable and they're just easy and they clean very well. I've never owned them, but again, it is a win, I guess. They sold out. That was the goal. 90 minutes, I expect Justin Bieber to sell out quicker. They do a lot of these collaborations now. I mean, at McDonald's right now, they just finished Travis Scott. Now they have the J Balvin, which I thought was a little bit of a reach, because all it was I think like a Big Mac with like a fries and an Oreo McFlurry. So it's not. I thought it was very cool, the collaboration with McDonald's and Travis Scott, the first one. But then they went right to J Balvin. I understand Crocs doing something with Justin Bieber. They've done it with Post Malone. Would you rather have a Post Malone Croc, or would you rather have a Justin Bieber Croc?
Or no Crocs.
Post Malone would be kind of cool.
Go barefoot.
Or no Crocs.
Everyone in the chat is saying Crocs are not cool. Listen, you will never, ever see me wear a Croc on my foot, but technically, like, they are trendy again. I mean, look, Justin Bieber is rocking a pair, but they're weird. I don't know. But I guess they are comfortable. So if you want one, actually, you can't get them. But he'll do another, he'll do a reboot.
I have to admit, I've probably bought 10 pairs of Crocs over the last 8 years, but they're all for my children because they look cute on my kids, and they're like little miniature sized ones.
The mini ones are cute. You are right. For kids, I'm all for it. For comfort, listen, we just want to make the kids safe. All right. Well, speaking of making the kids safe, I think Little Culture might be happy because Cardi B and Offset seem to be back together, or, on good terms. Now, we reported that Cardi and Offset have been reconciling recently, with Offset renting a billboard on Sunset Boulevard in LA for Cardi's birthday, buying her a Rolls Royce and more. But the two have been spotted together more and more recently, and after Cardi's Instagram Live from Tuesday night, it looks like they may no longer be getting divorced. So speaking to her fans, Cardi said this. Take a look.
I just be starting to, it's hard not to talk to your best friend. You know what I'm saying? It's really hard not to talk to your best friend, and it's really hard To have no dick. And
That's
I'm
great.
sorry, what did she say at the end? It cut out. I didn't hear what she said.
She says it's really hard, just play it back, rewind a little bit.
She's missing his man parts is basically what she said, if you didn't hear it clearly.
She is. So many fans believe that, this is the end to the divorce proceedings. Do you think this makes the couple officially back together, given all the other evidence? Or do you think, this may just be working for the time being?
I mean, are we starting to get to the point where we think this is a PR stunt? Really? Like, what's happening here? The fact that they're together, they're not together. And every time that it happens, there's like music coming out. I mean, she just released a song with Anita. Yeah. So it's a good time to have another breakup or have another get back together, because it's just like a cycle over and over again. And I know that they're the kind of people that like they clearly can't live apart, but I'm starting to get to the point where I'm like, is this fake? Is it all the breakup and get back together? Is it just fake?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Dax, man. These are two people that enjoy attention. They make money on attention. I don't think when they first got divorced that we even thought there was even trouble in paradise. Like there was never we never thought there was an issue between the two. So when they announced they're getting divorced, we're like, what? They're just getting divorced? So was it just like one fight? They're just like, hey, we're getting divorced? No, relationships don't work like that. If you have one fight and get divorced, everyone in the world would be divorced. So, and then especially when after the video's been dropping the past few weeks, I've obviously seen them together. We never thought this was long term.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Tamra is saying in the chat she never had plans on divorcing Offset. Everyone feels it was a PR stunt. Of course, like you mentioned, Dax, she's released a lot of music and videos recently, so people are agreeing.
By the way, have you guys talked about Anita on here at all?
We have, yeah.
I love her. She is full entertaining. And I think the American audience doesn't really know Anita yet because she is huge in Brazil. She is so huge, fascinating. Yeah. Her music videos are amazing. We've tried to get her on the podcast a couple times because she's just fun. And I love that she did a song with Cardi B because I feel like that kind of thrusts her into the spotlight here in America. But go back, watch some of her music videos, people. Trust me, they are unbelievable and they're fully entertaining. Like her in Alesso, that song.
Yeah. She also did.
I can't even explain it because it's so crazy, but it's fun to watch.
Yeah, she did R.I.P. with Rita Ora, which was, had come into America and hit mainstream. So yeah, she's definitely a star, and I'm excited to see kind of where her career goes because she's super talented.
Yep.
But let's move on to this Jordyn Woods news because Jordyn spoke to Page Six yesterday, setting the record straight on some big misconceptions people have about her. So Jordyn said that a lot of people think that she has no personality or that she doesn't work, neither of which are true. So she said, quote, "I'm very loud in my personal life and very crazy a little bit. I think that people don't really know me the way that they think they do. So I would love for people to get to see that side of me even more and what I go through daily. It's funny to me because I'm always working and I'm always busy. Just because I'm not advertising it every day on social media, people are like, wait, what does she do? I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, what don't I do?" So this interview comes after Jordyn's work with fashion company Pretty Little Thing. And as her on BET's new show Trigger is set to come out October 22nd. So she also spoke how she's been able to move past a lot of the more difficult times in her life, especially when the public has turned on her, as we all know. She said, quote, "I think you just have to take a second to be still and try to shut out the noise and really figure yourself out. Sticking around family and friends and people that show you support no matter what. Luckily, I'm blessed to have a very supportive and loving family. Regardless of what we go through, they're always there." So Dax and Adam, what do you think of what Jordyn had to say about all this kind of internet bullying and that she does work?
I think, first of all, she spoke for way longer than I needed to hear because it was like going, I'm like, you're really complaining that people are hating on you? Like, that makes you successful. Let me tell you this. When you have haters, that means you are successful. You don't want to have everyone love you all the time because it will get you nowhere. Trust me. That is why Paris Hilton and Kim Kardashian are so successful in this world, because you need haters and you need lovers. For her to go out there and complain about people saying stuff about her, it's like falling on deaf ears here. I don't care. You are a model. You do your things. Whatever it is to make money, great. But like, you don't have to prove yourself to me. You've got 30 million followers or whatever it is on Instagram. You're doing good. Don't buy into it. Just live your life. That's Kim Kardashian has been famous for doing nothing essentially, and she doesn't respond to that. She just keeps proving herself more and more and more. She doesn't fall into the trap of like, oh, poor me, people don't think I work. Shut up and just post your photos.
Yeah, I don't think anybody had a misconception on Jordyn Woods. I don't think anybody cared about Jordyn Woods. The only people that cared about her was some people that were brands that were paying her for content to do social media posts for a skinny tea or whatever these influencers do these days. Yes, it never came across anybody's mind or brain that, man, she doesn't do anything with her life. Of course she has to do something every day, but no one wasted any energy on her. I mean, the biggest thing that ever happened to her is that she slept with Khloe Kardashian's guy, Tristan.
No, she didn't sleep with him. She like kissed him once. Let's get your facts straight.
Listen, we allegedly. Sorry, I'll take it back. Allegedly, but let's.
You're getting into some hot water.
Yeah, allegedly, let's say that, but who knows really what happened? So, at the end of the day, it's like no one wasted energy on you, Jordyn Woods. I think just post your content. We're curious about your life. No one really. If you're wasting energy on the haters and what people are questioning you, it's just all wasted energy. Just keep going with your life. Nobody cares. We're too busy about our own lives to really care about Jordyn Woods that much.
Yeah, I also think that Jordyn has kind of made her own name. You know, for so long, she was in the shadows of the Kardashians. And when everything happened and kind of the scandal played out, Jordyn is still surviving and she's still thriving on her own platform. So, yes, she is an influencer, but, she's starting her own brand. She's collabing with people. An influencer in 2020 is a job. So she's doing fine. And like you said, haters make you more famous. So good for her. All right. Well, speaking of being more famous, Ariana Grande is set to make a cameo in the newly announced Adam McKay Netflix comedy, Don't Look Up. So the singer will make her return to acting, joining a cast that includes, get this, guys, Leonardo DiCaprio, Meryl Streep, Jonah Hill, Timothée Chalamet, Cate Blanchett, Kid Cudi, and Jennifer Lawrence, just to name a few. Now, the movie is about a pair of scientists who discover that a meteor will hit Earth. I don't know why I can't speak English, in 6 months, and must go on a media campaign to warn the world. So, do these big names, of course, Ariana, get you excited to see this new Netflix comedy?
I mean, I'm curious to see how you get all these famous people in one movie, because I gotta imagine it's literally just a cameo from these people. Like, you can't. There's no budget big enough to have Leonardo DiCaprio, Meryl Streep, Jennifer Lawrence all in the same movie and it still be affordable and not like a big action movie. So it's probably going to be very quick. But I mean, I'll tune in. I'll watch it.
Yeah, I feel like, especially now, and the weather, at least in the north, is getting colder, so you start to be home a little bit more, and you have to binge watch TV. So you go through Netflix pretty quick, I know from experience. With this movie alone, you wonder if they're trying to make up for maybe not that great of a movie with all these names. But again, Adam McKay it's an Adam McKay movie, and he's pretty good. He's very good, actually. So I wonder if they're bringing all these stars in. Yeah, he's very good. So I wonder if they're bringing all these stars to make up for a mediocre movie. But I don't think the names in the movie really attract me to go see a movie. Because at the end of the day, when I see people like Ariana Grande in a movie now, I feel like she's become so popular in just in her personal life, not just her music. And I know she used to be an actress, but sometimes when you watch a film, I don't see, unless she's playing Ariana Grande, I don't see them as the character. I see Ariana Grande. So that's the only fault I have with this. Lindsay Lohan, perfect example. I think Lindsay Lohan is an amazing actress. But if you put her in a movie right now, I don't see the character. I see Lindsay Lohan. So it depends how they put him in the movie.
But you know what's going to be great is the premiere. If their premieres going again at that point when this movie premieres, that's going to be one hell of a premiere to go to. You got all those stars walking the red carpet. That'd be dope.
I mean, this roster is definitely getting me to tune in. Also being a comedy, I mean, it's gonna be good. You know, it's has an all-star cast, but like you said, I feel like Ariana's role in it may be a cameo because the synopsis says they go on an unsuccessful press tour, so maybe they kind of run into her on a red carpet. I don't know how big Ariana's role will be in it, but I'm excited to see it. The T Tribe is also excited. Tall is saying Ari, Leo, Meryl, Jenny all together. Crystal's saying yes, so many great people. Keisha's saying Meryl and Leo and J-Law. Everyone. Mizna's saying yes, a movie with the goats. So very, very exciting. People are. Oh, Cassidy says, LOL, Ari was never a great actress, in my opinion. So Cassidy is not excited to see Ariana Grande in it. Interesting. Well, we will stay tuned. But until then, let's get into our new music spotlight because Lil Nas X hung up his cowboy hat and channeled the spirit of Prince last night during the Billboard Music Awards, accepting his award for Top Hot 100 song. Lil Nas X dropped some major news saying, quote, "Thank you to everybody. Thank you to Billy Ray Cyrus. I want everybody to be on the lookout next month for Nasvember. It's going to go crazy. In 2021, I'm dropping the greatest album of all time. I love you. Good night." So new music is coming from him this November.
Big
Very
words.
excited. Yeah. The rapper has given fans a snippet of what they can expect from the album earlier this summer with a video of himself listening to what fans think is the first single, Call Me By Your Name. So take a look at this little clip.
Romantic talk, you don't even have to try. You're cute enough to fuck with me tonight.
So Rihanna herself has apparently gotten a sneak peek of Lil Nas X's new music and called it banging. I'm not just saying that. Honest to God, I'm not just saying that. So what did you guys think of his outfit last night? And are you excited for his new album?
I loved the outfit. I love it. You know why? Because it's entertaining. And, you know, we talked about this yesterday, I think it was yesterday. I don't know. My days are all mixing together. How Miley is this like chameleon. And I feel like Lil Nas X is a chameleon. And that's what keeps people entertained and interesting. Because it's not always just about how you sing or what you say. It's how you show up on a red carpet, how you present yourself. And I love that he went and switched it. Obviously an homage to Prince, the hair, the outfit. I don't know. He keeps me very entertained, so I loved it.
Yeah, the suit was awesome. You know, it's just got some flair to it. It was just cool. Snakeskin, whatever. It's really badass. Lil Nas it's going to be tough for him to come back. You know, there's going to be a lot of pressure. You know, obviously his last album was a huge success, but when you make words like that, when you say statements like this, you better back it up. And I hope that he backs it up because the guy is talented. I like how he adapts to country music, how he goes back to his own roots. He just makes good music. So I'm curious to what kind of music he puts out there. If he goes to another genre, maybe opera, who knows? I don't know what kind of crossovers he's going to do. However, there is sometimes a sophomore slump, and we'll see if he has it.
Yeah, I absolutely loved this suit. I would rock this suit on a red carpet. I think he killed it. We talked about it a little bit before we went live, and I was saying that he kind of channeled both Prince, but also Little Richard. And, you know, Little Richard came before Prince. So, you know, the hair and the suit together, I got that vibe as well. But I'm excited.
Did you immediately think Little Richard over Prince when you saw it?
Yeah. I don't know why. It is weird because you would go to Prince first, but I somehow, I don't know what it was. I think it was like the zebra in it, but they also, you know, resemble each other. You know, Prince and Little Richard kind of have similar style, similar hair. But he looks great nonetheless. And I also love that he's kind of lasted this long. You know, a lot of people thought, oh, he's going to be a one-hit wonder. Old Town Road was so successful. Like, how do you kind of move on from that? And he really, you know, is moving on. He's super successful. He's continuing to soar. So I love him and I'm proud of him. I also want to shout out Fessy in the chat who gave us a little kiss emoji. So mwah to you, Fessy. Thanks for joining us and tuning in. So yeah, I'm excited to see what he brings. You know, that clip, we didn't play a lot of it, but it also has a country vibe to it. So maybe his new album will still kind of go down that old town road of country. But until then, let's get into this Car Jenner tea time because we have a lot to talk about Khloe. And first up, we're talking about Khloe admitting in a recent interview with Refinery29 that she's been struggling to figure out how to parent amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. So Khloe said that because she doesn't have a nanny during the quarantine, she had to incorporate True into her workouts. So some of the mommy-daughter workouts include Khloe pulling True behind her in a wagon uphill during her morning runs, like a sled dog. She also said that she hopes to show her daughter that there are healthy ways to be active every day. So while her heart is in the right place, I'm sure she's just trying to relate to, you know, regular people. Do you think Khloe talking about how she's adapted to life without a nanny is giving her, you know, is showing her more relatable to her audience right now?
I mean, listen, you had me all the way up to the point where you said, I didn't have a nanny during COVID. Boo-hoo. Do you know how many people couldn't pay their bills because of COVID? And you're saying you can't have a nanny? Like, that is not relatable. I am on board for incorporating your kids because they are home 24/7. I think having the kid in the gym and running up a hill and figuring out other ways to exercise, I'm there for that. But the second you enter the nanny into the conversation, you've lost most people. I can't say anyone feels bad for you and living in your multi-million-dollar house in Calabasas. Like, there's other people that can't afford to have the lights on. So sorry, Khloe, you lost me.
I think it's crazy that Khloe Kardashian couldn't find a nanny. You're telling me if all America, no nanny would apply to do the job, I would have done it for $6 an hour. I would have done it for below minimum wage. You know, that's insane. I mean, it's pure rich people problems, but maybe she's just not very feet on the ground, aware of it. I do think she came at this to hit a home run, you know, and to really relate to people. Unfortunately, she swung and she missed. You know, this is not a struggle. This is an everyday problem for everyone, for actually 99.999% of the world. Like, Dax probably wishes he could have a nanny. It'd make his life so much better. But,
dude,
you know,
that would have been so much easier. But no, don't have any nannies here.
But props to her for actually still staying active and sticking to her morals, which is, you know, living a healthy life. And I think it's good for her to have quality time with her daughter because I'm sure they have, you know, their quality time's good for any child. So it's good that they got to bond and have do something that's, you know, good for both of them, which is fitness.
Yeah. So, Adam, I want to know if you were a nanny, what would your extracurricular activities be? Like, how would you, you know, when you get into your nanny role, what do you do with your kids?
Dude, first of all, if I was Khloe Kardashian's nanny, I would make sure the kid's out of the house. I would make sure the kid's exhausted by the end. You know, I think the kids have too much energy, so I'd bring the kids to the park. I'd make sure they run around, so when they go back to Khloe, they sleep well, and then she's able to relax more. So I think it's more about keeping them busy, but also trying to educate them a little bit, not just on the physical education, which is running around and maybe running around a playground, but also helping out with their schoolwork. So I think I could do both. And then, I mean, they're kids. So most kids, you know, at least for my nephews, they only eat chicken nuggets. I mean, I'm sure her kids eat organic and all healthy food. So I would probably learn some recipes. So I would love to go through
I'm reading the chat, and the Hollyscoop moderator said maybe True's dad should watch her from time to time. Oh, the shade!
Lots of shade here. The T Tribe, they are not Tristan fans. They love to kind of bring his faults to light.
His,
you know,
extracurricular activities to the forefront.
But I did think about that when I saw this article. You know, of course, Tristan is an NBA player. You know, he's probably training as well. But yeah, you know, he should help time and time. Of course, they're reconciling. They're back together allegedly. So maybe Tristan needs to help sometimes. Come on, Dad. We do have a lot of moms in our T Tribe. We call them the Mom Tribe. So I want to get the Mom Tribe's thoughts on kind of Khloe's comments? And do you think this is relatable, or do you think, she should just focus on, not trying to be relatable, because that's their brand.
You're right. You're right. Their brand is not relatable, and I think that's what makes people so interested.
Yeah.
And I think that, how do I say this? I think that she can be relatable, and to a certain extent, I just think that when you're so wealthy, it's hard to put yourself in shoes anymore of like what it's like before you got there. Because you got to remember, the Kardashians were not always rich. They were in debt. They didn't have money. I mean, there was a time in their life where they would have actually been relatable, and now they're just so far past it they can't even go back to that point.
Right.
Yeah, it's funny because when I first started being a journalist and a paparazzi, I remember running to Kim all the time and the Kardashian family at the airport, at restaurants, and they were very kind of approachable. It was very kind of like normal. They were very easy to talk to. And now I see them and it's this entourage. It's like a circus. Everyone, so many people around them, to fans, to security, to paparazzi. Now it's like, I can't even relate to them. I'm like, sorry, Kim, I can't even talk to you anymore. It's too much. It's too much.
Yeah.
But again, I think it's pretty cool that Khloe is still, with everything going on with raising a kid and during a pandemic, how important health is to her, and we know she struggled over the years as far as trying to stay in shape, and good for her to sticking to her morals and keeping a fitness routine in her life.
Yeah, exactly. I want to shout out Nicole. That's where did you go? She said something that she runs around following her 3-year-old, and that gives her cardio. I'm sure a lot of moms and dads can relate to this. It must be tough having, keeping yourself healthy and working out and all of that when you also have to worry about a child. So at the end of the day, it's great that she's able to do both, even though she's having some trouble. But we're still talking about Khloe. And Khloe is being hounded by fans once again, who keep commenting on her ever-changing face. So after posting a new Instagram story this morning showing off her new blonde ponytail, fans started to go in on her for having a different face. Now, the story was obviously filtered and honestly didn't look that different from what we've seen from her lately. But while we've reported on Khloe's different looks in the past, it's starting to get ridiculous. People just can't let it go. Do you think fans are taking this new face thing too far?
No, they just love to hate on her. They love to hate on everything she does. She does not look any different than she did the day before. Like you said, there's a filter clearly on the post, and she may have not been wearing as much makeup she normally does, but that doesn't look like another new face to me. She's changed a lot, but like, we sit there and we applaud people because they've like made themselves better and that she's happier with herself. So why are we going to keep knocking her down? Like, she feels better about herself. That's what we should be happy about. She looks great. And you go back in time, she was very like self-conscious about the way she looked, especially being in that family. So like, good for her for like feeling like she fits in finally.
I agree with Dax. She looks fantastic. She looks great, and she's worked so hard to become her best self, and she looks great. It's so insane to see what she looked like when we first started seeing her on TV to what she is now. She's also in a good place. Like, they're good people. Like, the stuff that's happened to their family, you can say what you want, but the Kardashians are pretty strong people. From the way the media treats them to a lot of the public treats them, it's not easy being them. And the stress and everything involved has really kind of, play a lot into their life. I would just be very curious if they ever become very candid if they'd ever tell exactly what they've done to their face, as far as surgeries, as far as their beauty treatments. I'd be very curious if they would ever come forward and say, this is what we did. Because we don't know. They never really, even when it comes to Kim's body, no one's ever really said in the Kardashian family what they've actually done to their bodies.
I'll tell you, if they did, that person would be making a lot of money right now.
Karina in the chat is saying, how do people wear ponytails that tight? My goodness. First off, hello, Karina. Karina is one of our moderators, so she's joining us. Great to see you. I agree. I saw this And I'm kind of over everyone, talking about her different faces. Like you said, if she feels good, if she looks good, then that's all that matters. It is a filter. But I would want to talk about the ponytail, because that's what I saw first. I saw this ponytail extension, which of course they've worn before. It's nothing new, but that's kind of what caught my eye. I also think that, like you said, it's not so much about what they've done. It's like, if they feel good, then that's all that matters. You know what I mean?
Do you think the ponytail is just so tight it's giving her a facelift? Like, if you start pulling so much on your ponytail, you're like, gets rid of every possible wrinkle ever.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up dancing and cheering, and let me just say, I have gotten my ponytail that tight, so I know that feeling and that headache that comes with it, but it can make you look good. And Amanda is saying in the chat, it's her faith, her life, let her live. People are just jealous. That could be true.
I wonder if actually Snapchat or some of the filter companies are paying her for using these filters. If she's actually, because she gets so much crap from every time she posts photos like this. So you wonder if she's getting paid for doing photos like this, because it's not a win for her when she posts these photos. She knows she's going to get flock for doing it. So is she, behind the scenes profiting off this?
That's a good point. I mean, whenever a new filter, most of the filters, or all the filters, are free normally. There's not many times that you have to pay for a filter. So I don't know if...
Yeah, but the company could... Snapchat could be behind it just because it turns into massive publicity for Snapchat.
Yeah, that's the one thing Dax and I have learned from working in the industry, from being on both sides, from the journalism part to being broadcasters now. It's such a business. Everything they do is a business. They're not doing this if they're not getting paid. At the end of the day, everyone's trying to make profit here. It's like I said yesterday, it's show business. They have to make money.
Yeah, I saw someone earlier in the chat, Chloe did this ad for Febreze where she bedazzled like 100 Febreze bottles. I don't know if you guys saw that photo. And Chris also yesterday did this, like, she's lying in the middle of like 100 Louis Vuitton boxes. Like, they obviously do, work with companies often to promote their brands. It's mutually exclusive. So yes, there's always that thought that maybe there's some money behind it. But
no, you guys, they get paid $1 million a post on Instagram. This family is like one of the most sought after social media influencers out there, because they can make so much money. And like, one post for Kim Kardashian will cost you $1 million. Think about that. One post. Can you imagine? Yeah. Think of how many like dog posts and stuff we put up. One sunset post. Like, she pushes go and makes $1 million. That's crazy.
Yeah. Sandy is saying she probably doesn't care, which is true. I mean, Chloe's in on the joke. She's been quoted in interviews where even just, we talked about her being Nicole Richie's assistant 5 faces ago. Like, Chloe's in on the joke, which also kind of lessens. Yeah, Chloe said it herself. So I want people to move on, but they won't. People love to hate them, and that's kind of part of what makes them so famous. Like you said, haters make you money.
Hate.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, it's about that time. Let's get into our OMT story of the day. And we're actually talking about Snapchat, because Snapchat unveiled a new feature today called Sounds, which more or less turns one of your snaps into a TikTok video, basically. So coming with the rollout of the app's latest feature, however, is a snippet from Justin's newest song, Lonely, with Benny Blanco, which is set to release tonight. So fans get a sneak preview of the song if they use the app's latest edition. So the short amount of the song that you do get from the app previews a much more kind of slow tempo track. So hopes about whether or not this is going to be a banger are not looking good, guys. What do you think of this being a way for Justin to promote his new song? And what do you kind of think about him having more of a slow tempo new song?
Well, I'm applauding Snapchat for getting in the game with this one, because so many people had moved away from Snapchat because of Insta stories, because of TikTok. And so they're like, hey, don't forget about us. We can still be a player. Let's add music. Let's kind of get in with what everyone else is doing. So, because listen, they already have the fan bases there. Whether or not you're using it at this moment, if they come up with cooler features, if they come up with cooler filters and new music, people will come back to Snapchat. So I applaud them for thinking outside the box, doing something cool. The Bieber fans, like we said earlier, they're super loyal. So even if it's 6 seconds of a song, you're going to get millions of people flooding Snapchat today to hear that 6 seconds, to post a video, because it's the cool thing to do today. So I'm applauding them for their creativity on this one.
So you're applauding Justin Bieber. You're applauding Snapchat, right, Dax? Or Justin Bieber?
Snap.
Yeah, I think Snapchat. Again, Scooter Braun, props to him. Good decision. He found to make money on just a 5-second preview of a song. I mean, it's genius. It's genius, you know. And here's Snapchat that's struggling to stay relevant, in my opinion, because TikTok, Instagram, they've all jumped on. They kind of stole, you know, I shouldn't say steal, but they took what they were made for and kind of brought it to their own program. So I don't know if many people, at least in my network, is using Snapchat as much. So they probably paid a very good penny. So it was a good move for Justin Bieber. It's a good move for Benny Blanco. It's a good move for Scooter Braun. And I hope the investment was a good for Snapchat. With that said, with the preview of the song, is it good? Is it not? That's for you guys to decide.
Yeah, Karina's saying, I don't think this was a smart move on Justin's part because he needs to really bring us the good music. And a lot of people probably didn't even know it was on there. I didn't know about that update. Like you said also, Adam, you know, Snapchat used to be the platform for Gen Z. You know, that's kind of was their niche, and now TikTok has kind of taken that over. And this new kind of sounds update is not necessarily doing anything so different, which would take someone from TikTok to Snapchat, besides this Justin Bieber snippet. But, you know, they only give us like 5 seconds. So it's not enough to kind of, you know, take me off one platform and bring me here. And if I'm getting the whole song tonight, I don't necessarily know how.
Yeah. You're not a believer. And I think for all the millions of believers that are out there, I think those people, 6 seconds to them is worth opening their Snapchat app today, because it's almost like you're hearing something that you're not supposed to be hearing. And I think that's what they're doing. Like, oh, here's a sneak peek. Here's something that we're not releasing till tonight. And trust me, there are millions of people logging in to hear that 5 seconds for sure.
Totally.
Agreed.
I mean, I tried to do it this morning, and I had to re-download my Snapchat. So I mean, they got me, but I'm saying much longer than just hearing that sneak peek. I don't know if it kind of brought me back. If this was kind of an effort to bring people back to the platform, I don't know if necessarily this does the trick.
You start with one, and then if this becomes the new thing for people to do, sneak peeks of music, trust me, if they go, hey, we've got the sneak peek of the Cardi B and Nicki Minaj track that's going to drop, and we've got 10 seconds of it, Snapchat is going to blow up if they keep doing
that. Smart. Great point, Dax. If that's going to be the new thing for Snapchat, to give little snippets of songs a few hours before everything launches, a great idea. Listen, it's a great move for Snapchat to show that they're getting into the music world, that they're able to have the licensing for people to put music on their videos. But if they now are the place to go to give that little preview, I think it's just so good. Such a smart move by Snapchat. I hope the investment's good.
I agree. That's a good point, Dax. If that's the move, then that could be really successful. They said that they're going to put more songs on this, you know, after Justin's sneak peek. So I guess we will just stay tuned for that. But I don't know. I think that let's talk about the music itself. I mean, we only got a little piece of it, but I know we were looking for something more upbeat, something to just like, you know, smash the charts. I don't know if this one's going to be it. Like, is there anyone that you would want to see Justin collab with that he hasn't before?
Anita. No, just kidding. Who would I want him to collab with? God, I have no idea. I guess I haven't really put too much time into that one.
I know. Just like someone random.
You know who I like? Yeah, I feel like Sia is so underrated and talented. I don't feel like she gets all the credit. If you literally go to Amazon Music and you type in Sia, listen to Sia Radio, every song she's done is so good. I think she could hit with a Justin Bieber song.
I'd actually go a different direction. I would actually put him on Michael Bublé. I think Michael Bublé is such a fun guy, it's a genre that we really don't get to see or hear that much, at least on the radio. I think it could be a really good song that he did with Michael Bublé, where he could really show his voice again, and really, and just be a classic song and kind of reach another audience. Maybe an older crowd might like him.
Ooh, those are good. Michael Bublé and Sia. I'm sorry.
Sia.
Yeah, this is just a spectrum of people.
Ooh, Alexa said Justin and Khalid. I like that one.
Oh, that's good. Karina's saying, from the snippets I've heard on Instagram, I'm already not liking the song. Eric is saying Justin and Sean, maybe, or Drake.
Justin and Selena. This is Melkor.
Yeah, right. Justin and Selena would be fantastic.
Honestly, that would be a huge collab. If that actually happened, can you imagine, guys? Like, with all their history. Think about Brad and Jennifer and how everyone freaked out seeing them like communicate over the last couple months. If Justin and Selena did a song, it would break records.
Dax, you're telling me you don't think that's going to happen in the near future? Yeah. You don't think that's going to happen in the near future? You don't think that they're going to kind of come together at some point? I think it has to. I think they're just going to become older and wiser. They're more confident in themselves. I think a duet is definitely in the picture between those two, and years from now. I wouldn't say next week, but years from now.
Yeah, it's funny that you said that, Dax, because I've said on the show before that they are, this kind of generation of the Brad and Jennifer. So it's like, we want to eventually, everyone wants a happy ending. We were born, Disney taught us that everything has an happy ending. We know as we grow older that not everything has a happy ending, and that's part of life. But I think, there's going to get some angry people in the chat because, Justin did her wrong, and, the Selenays are going to come in hot and they're going to tell you they never want to see it happen. But there are those people that want the happy ending still. But he is married. She's moved on. Everyone seems to be happy. So we got to just stick at that. But before we go, guys, of course, you guys have your Hollywood Raw podcast. I want to know, what is the craziest thing someone has ever told you so far? Craziest Hollywood story someone has told you on the podcast that you can share with us?
I think that's a great question. Dak, I wanted to hear what you say, because I'll agree with you.
We're on the same page. I think one of our craziest interviews has been Kanye West's former bodyguard. It was such a good podcast, spilling so much tea. The whole thing was just like piles of tea being spilled about Kanye, what he was like behind closed doors, crazy interactions that he had where Kanye was just such a rude egomaniac. Stories about Kanye walking down the highway in the middle of the night and this guy had to go pick him up. I mean, it was such a good podcast. I highly recommend you listen to it. You're going to have to scroll down to find it, but
we've had celebrities on the show. We've had, The Situation, Kelly Osbourne, and they're all great. They all actually got opened up a lot. However, when you have someone like Kanye West's bodyguard and you just hear what his life is like and dealing with Kanye on a personal and a business level it's just insane. And this guy's worked for numerous other celebrities like Leonardo DiCaprio, and but just to hear the stories that he had to say about working with Kanye and Kim are just fascinating.
Wow.
Like, let me tell you just a little snippet. Day one of this guy meeting Kanye, they get into, I'm telling you, like, hadn't had any interaction, walked into the building, they kind of met, walked into an elevator, and Kanye stands there and looks at him, and the elevator doors close, and Steve is like, what floor are we going to? And Kanye, like, berates him and says, how do you not know where we're going? Why did you not call ahead to figure out what floor we're going to? And the bodyguard was like, listen, dude, I literally just met you. This is my first day. He's like, there's 3 options here. Number 1, you push the button, we get to where we're going. Number 2, you tell me which button to push, I'll push it, we'll get to where we're going. Or number 3, we just sit here for the rest of the day and have a standoff and waste your time. So what's it going to be? And Kanye ended up telling him which floor to go to. But I mean, that was just one of the many, many stories this guy let flow during our podcast.
Wow, that sounds good. Well, we got to tune in after this, but thanks again, guys, for coming on and hanging out with us this week. This was so much fun. Loved getting your insider tea to everything going on. And of course, if they want more of you after this show, where can they find you both?
You can find me at Adam Glynn, Glyn, on all social media platforms. You can find Dax Holt at Dax Holt, DAXHOLT. And make sure you check out the Hollywood Raw podcast. We're on YouTube, we're on TikTok. We like you, we always try to spill the tea. So thank you guys.
Stitcher, iHeartRadio, wherever you like your podcast, go find us. I promise, it's worth it. We're a tea spilling podcast.
Yes, thank you, Tea Tribe. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, and if you're new here, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you're an after sipper, share your thoughts in the comments on all the tea we had to spill. And of course, you can find me at Alex Schiffman, all social media platforms. And on that note, guys, it's time to wash this tea off for the last time and head on out.
Thanks again, guys. Thank you, Hollyscoop,
thank you,
having
Alex.
us. It was fun. It was a fun couple days, so thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you, guys.
Bye.